Hey guys! Early Nicktoons from the 90s and early 2000s. Am I right? In a span that separates itself by just 1 week, we've had Rocko's Modern Life and we've had Invader Zim. Both return with full-fledged movies. Let's discuss.
Hello, internets! It's me, FishSticks96, with my trusty selfie-o-matic cranial attachment.
Whoa! My reality is virtual!
Anyway, we're going on an epic quest to find the great Ralph Bighead.
Ah! It's too real! The details! Whoa! Ah!
Subscribe to my channel to follow our inspirational...
I want my mommy!
Fuzzy, get away from that internet thing. It'll hurt you.
Let's begin with Rocko's Modern Life. Rocko's Modern Life was probably personally one of my favorite cartoons growing up. It kick-started off a lot of people's careers. Tom Kenny came from Rocko's Modern Life, who voices SpongeBob and a whole mess of other voices. Filbert, that's the same voice of the guy who does Plankton. He also went to do SpongeBob. The creator of SpongeBob, Steven Hillenburg, came from Rocko's Modern Life. I think he was like a storyboard artist or something, and he went on to create SpongeBob, and he got the inspiration from Rocko's Modern Life, the one episode where they go fishing, and I think that's pretty neat. Like Rocko's Modern Life is a very important show. If it wasn't for like Ren and Stimpy and other shows, it wouldn't have gotten the popularity as well. Rocko's Modern Life is responsible for a lot of future cartoons, and for that's truly amazing. The movie itself, it takes place exactly right where the season finale of Rocko's Modern Life took off, where they're in the rocket. The rocket goes to the house, and the house just flies off into space. Thought that was a nice little touch. And pretty much everything, it feels exactly the same. It feels like an extended episode of Rocko's Modern Life. It's 45 minutes, so this was probably meant to be like an hour-long movie on TV, including commercials. All the voice actors reprise their same voices, same characters. It's pretty fun. It's pretty interesting, and that was a really special treat to see something just kind of go the way that it did, and I absolutely loved watching this show.
Yeah, this is just what I need. I'm gonna find some episodes of the Fatheads.
He's gonna need some more soda pop or something, Mama. Don't know where they all came from. You must have been busy.
I have been busy.
And a one, and a two, and a one, and a two. Tonight, ghost cake.
Look, there's one now. Are you getting this? You gotta get this.
Fat cats in tiny houses.
Oh, I'm stuck.
Some people had some, I guess, qualms with it. The big one, spoilers if you haven't seen it. One of the big ones is Ralph Bighead all of a sudden decides to have a sex change operation and is no longer known as Ralph. He's known as Rachel. So he's now she. And that's interesting. It's different. But to me, Rocko's Modern Life has always been about modern day things. And who's to say that wouldn't be a modern day thing, especially nowadays. So it didn't bother me. Some people had issues with it, but it didn't bother me. I did have kind of issues with Rocko, the main character. The whole story is basically him trying to bring back an old cartoon show, The Fatheads. It kind of pokes fun at modern day society, and it's kind of like a message to the fans too, talking about. It's almost kind of poking fun at the fans. He wants to bring back the Fatheads. People want to bring back Rocko's Modern Life. Not everything is the same. Things change. The whole theme of this show is change. and that's what I got out of it. It wasn't perfect, but in the end, overall, I enjoyed it. And if they ever made any more Rocko's Modern Life episodes, I would totally watch it. I would recommend it if you're a fan. And also, this is kind of works on itself, like by itself. If you've never seen Rocko's Modern Life, you can kind of like watch it as a separate thing, because it works just as well. Love it. We also had Invader Zim, which if you have never watched Invader Zim, I suggest you go watch it, whether you find it on the old, I think it's on Netflix now. But to me, Invader Zim was one of the last good cartoons that was on Nickelodeon before they started going downhill with their quality. Invader Zim always, to me, it never felt like a Nickelodeon show. It felt like it would like do really well on like Cartoon Network or even like a Adult Swim type show. Invader Zim was out there. And this movie, it was called Invader Zim Enter the Florpus. And then when you watch it, you'll know what that means. It's absolutely eye candy. It's so beautiful. Just the animation, they went all out. Rocko's Modern Life kept it very grounded, and it was the same art style, which I appreciated. But Invader Zim, though it was the same art style, it was like over the top. People were, all the explosions, all this chaotic stuff that was happening. Oh, it was so good. It was lovely. I think I liked it better than Rocko's Modern Life. Don't get me wrong, I liked Rocko's Modern Life, but this one just had a little something to it. It had the same feel. It was just as weird. It had some really funny moments that really just were hurting my sides because I was laughing so hard. It was so funny.
I hate this as much as you do, but it's not like anyone can just walk out the front door. Okay, it's not like we can just walk out the front door.
Yeah, that one was really good. I don't have a single complaint with it. I guess my only complaint is that it was too short. Even though the movie itself was an hour and 11 minutes. Hell, I'd watch a 2-hour movie. That's another one that they reprised all the same voices, all the roles and everything. Sounded exactly the same, looked the same. Looked a little different. It wasn't as blocky in dark, thick edges. It was kind of more rounded, but I didn't have any complaints with it. It looked great. And I highly recommend any fan check those out. In conclusion, nostalgia is a huge, huge factor that brought these shows back. Of course, you have the fan base that wanted it, and they were asking for it, and the creators of the shows brought it back. And to me, it's just really amazing just to live in a time where there's a fan base. If there's a show that has a fan base, you can pretty much get something to come back. And that is, to me, really neat. I just wish some other shows that I personally love would come back. Sometimes that could be a bad thing. I remember Ren and Stimpy, they came back with their like adult version of the show, and it just wasn't even as good as the kids version of the cartoon. I don't know how some shows would be. I know they're bringing back Rugrats. They're making a live action one of them, and that, I think that's going to be terrible, because I could just imagine. Ever seen Baby Geniuses, where their lips are moving and everything? It's probably going to be something like that. They announced a couple of other ones coming back, but Rugrats was a huge one. To me, Rugrats should be left alone. I don't see them doing any good. Some of the voices aren't even around anymore. The voice actor of Stu's passed on. The voice actor of Chucky's passed on. But anyway, it's just really neat. I thought it was a good time to talk about how Nickelodeon has been making a comeback lately in a good way with older shows. I'm just curious to see what they're going to do in the future. So, alright. Peace out, everybody.
As you know, tomorrow is Peace Day, and nobody is as excited for the big celebration as I am.
I am!
Not scientifically possible!